Representative Jim Jordan gained the endorsement of several prominent doubters within the Republican caucus on Monday, strengthening his push for the position of Speaker in anticipation of an upcoming floor vote scheduled for Tuesday. Chairman of the House Armed Services Committee, Mike Rogers, and Chairman of the House Appropriations Defense Subcommittee, Ken Calvert, both influential figures within the defense community of the GOP, publicly declared their support for Jordan on Monday morning. Republican and Wagner of Missouri, who had previously labeled Jordan as an unsuitable candidate for Speaker, also announced her backing, as did Representative Vern Buchanan of Florida, who had been hesitant earlier. Jim Jordan and I had an extensive conversation this morning, and he has addressed my concerns about maintaining conservative funding, the necessity of robust border security, the need for consistent international support during times of conflict and instability, as well as the imperative for stronger safeguards against human trafficking and child exploitation, Wagner stated in her endorsement. Jim Jordan is our conference's nominee, and I will endorse his nomination for Speaker on the House floor. Despite these additional endorsements, Jordan still faces a challenging path to secure the Speaker position. On the floor, he can only afford to lose the support of 4 Republican members. As a Speaker requires a majority vote from the entire House, several Republicans indicated their continued opposition to Jordan as they entered a GOP conference meeting on Monday evening, including Representatives Don Bacon of Nebraska, Mario Diaz-Balart of Florida, and Ken Buck of Colorado. I don't like to use the term hard no or never, but I am against it, Bacon told CNN. Jordan informed CNN that he intends to go to the floor for the Speaker vote at noon Eastern Time on Tuesday. Whether or not he has secured the necessary votes, when asked on Monday evening whether he had the required support, Jordan responded, "I hope so. I think so, if Jordan manages to secure the votes and becomes Speaker on Tuesday. It will bring an end to the chaotic and unprecedented 2 weeks in the House that followed the removal of Kevin McCarthy. Without a Speaker, the House cannot pass legislation, even with impending international crises and a government shutdown 1 month away." Some members have considered empowering interim Speaker Patrick McHenry, a North Carolina Republican who was appointed to the position after McCarthy's ousting. However, if Jordan fails to gather enough support for a successful floor vote, Republicans will find themselves back at square one, leaving the House without a Speaker and in a state of political paralysis. Last week, within the GOP conference, 55 Republicans voted against pledging their support for Jordan on the floor. The Ohio Republican subsequently sent the conference home for the weekend, with plans to engage with members individually. Meanwhile, GOP activists criticized those opposing Jordan, arguing that it would ultimately strengthen the House Democrats. Conservative Republican Representative Jim Jordan of Ohio is leading a determined charge to the House floor on Tuesday, aiming to succeed the ousted Speaker Kevin McCarthy and bring an end to the prolonged deadlock within the deeply divided GOP. Jordan has managed to secure crucial support from wavering members as the vote approaches, marking a significant shift from the historic removal of McCarthy 2 weeks earlier. However, uncertainties persist about Jordan's ability to unify the fractured House Republican conference, with some lawmakers still in opposition. The absence of Florida Representative Gus Bilirakis on Tuesday for his mother-in-law's funeral has complicated Jordan's vote count. With Bilirakis away, Jordan can afford to lose only 3 votes, a precarious situation given the tensions within the party. Bilirakis will return to Washington on Tuesday evening, temporarily easing the pressure on Jordan. The razor-thin margin is reminiscent of the circumstances that led to McCarthy's removal by a group of 8 GOP rebels. Similarly, a small faction of House Republicans dissatisfied with Jordan's candidacy could impede his elevation to Speaker. Despite the challenges, Jordan and his allies have made substantial progress in recent days. Jordan has engaged skeptics individually, while his supporters outside Congress have applied pressure on the holdouts, warning of potential political repercussions if they defy the wishes of the Trump-aligned GOP base. "We need to get a Speaker tomorrow," emphasized Jordan after a closed-door GOP conference meeting on Monday. "The American people deserve to have their Congress, their House representatives, working. And you can't have that happen until you get a Speaker." Jordan's backers believe that the number of GOP opponents has dwindled significantly, possibly to less than 10. Even if Jordan falls short on the initial ballot, he could prompt additional rounds of voting, similar to McCarthy's path to victory in January. Until the House selects a Speaker, legislative matters such as providing additional military aid to Israel or securing government funding cannot progress. The looming threat of a shutdown. only a month away due to McCarthy's temporary spending deal, underscores the urgency of resolving the leadership crisis. Despite Jordan's strides, he faces public opposition from some GOP lawmakers still resentful over the removal of McCarthy and their subsequent opposition to House Majority Leader Steve Scalise's nomination for Speaker. "I can't get past the fact that a small group in our conference violated the rules to get rid of Kevin and then block Steve," remarked Representative Don Bacon of Nebraska. "That's not American. Americans want fair play and rule of law." Representative Mario Diaz-Balart of Florida, a Scalise supporter, affirmed his continued allegiance while warning against attempts to pressure his vote. Several Republicans, including those from districts won by President Joe Biden, remain tight-lipped about their stance, leaving Jordan's prospects uncertain as the crucial vote approaches. Jordan's supporters within the party have urged fellow Republicans to rally behind him, emphasizing that Jordan should not be held responsible for past party divisions.